This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. This last week of August is Overdose Awareness Week, an international campaign to address a truly international crisis. And when we talk about overdoses, we're often talking about San Francisco, where 806 people died last year. Well, this week, we are taking the time to look at the crisis through the lens of another city. It is a West Coast city famous for its incredible natural beauty, diverse culture, and cosmopolitan living. In fact, it's often cited as one of the more desirable places to live in the world. And Vancouver, much like San Francisco, has become one of the epicenters of the drug crisis. They are separated by more than 900 miles, but in both cities, fentanyl has been the primary driver of the overdose surge over the past 10 years. But Vancouver and British Columbia have responded differently, using approaches we often just hear about here in the United States. So what can we learn from their experience? Well, this week, we take a look in our special series, Overdose Crisis, Lessons from Vancouver. Our Wilson Walker traveled up north and brings us part one.
But like I said, I've been here far too long. Nobody's alive from when I started my addiction. Not one person. Not one.
20 years Jeffrey Brocklesby has spent in the streets and alleys of Vancouver's downtown east side. Everyone he knew when he started here, all lost to the very same gamble.
So there's crystal meth in there and fentanyl. Hopefully that's what it is.
He admits that he's surprised that he's still alive, having been pulled into the crisis that will look very recognizable to San Franciscans.
This is Main and Hastings, aka Pain and Wastings. It's ground zero for the poverty in this city.
I've watched everything happen down here. I've watched the streets evolve. When it was heroin down here, it was very quiet. This is new stuff. This is new with the fentanyl. It's everywhere now.
So fentanyl changed the street.
Fentanyl changed the lifestyle. It's wiped out a whole f***ing generation.
And we didn't even have a choice, you know? We were doing heroin, and slowly but surely we started tasting something different about it. People dropping left and right. Oh, now there's a crisis. Everybody's dying.
Fentanyl took hold in Vancouver around 2014, and overdose numbers more than doubled in 2 years as the downtown east side became an emergency room.
So this is our, hey guys, these guys are out here just in case there's an overdose in the area.
Immediately, we'd grab our Narcan, we grab our oxygen tank, and we're gone.
It's the community helping each other in itself.
Sarah Blythe is executive director of the Van City Overdose Prevention Society, but back in 2016, she was managing a street market on Hastings.
Since we were outside, we were, more and more people would run to us with an overdose. So basically, we just set up exactly this, a tent, table, and chair, and said, this is a health emergency. I don't care what any level of government says.
At the time, Vancouver did have one official safe injection site, and Blythe effectively forced them to open more by opening her own.
We're doing the Good Samaritan Act by saving people. We're not going to allow people, no one's going to sit there and watch people die.
And so in 2016, the government of BC issued an emergency ministerial order telling health authorities that we could operate overdose prevention sites despite them being illegal in Canada.
In the 8 years since the emergency was declared, BC has leaned into the idea with dozens of sites. Dr. Mark Lecision is Chief Medical Officer for Vancouver Coastal Health.
But now, as people have transitioned into inhalation, we're offering supervised injection and supervised inhalation, but they have to be indoor, outdoor sites.
Treatment services are also offered on site.
Go through substance use stabilization, or what we used to call detox.
But the primary focus is mitigating the risk presented by the unpredictable street supply.
We're all rolling dice. It's not fentanyl anymore. We're doing tranq and benzos.
As an alternative, British Columbia also provides drugs regulated by the government, referred to as safe supply.
We've seen sort of the risks that can come from unregulated drugs, and we know people use them, and so we legalize them and we make regulated versions, and then people don't immediately die when they consume them.
here I am. I got fentanyl on my back as much as I hate it.
Todd Allgood, who has a back injury, receives 2 medications.
I go to the IO twice a day for my half gram of heroin, and that kills the pain.
We know this helps people get treatment. It's part of the treatment journey for many people because the people who don't have access to this continue using dangerous street drugs. They're at high risk of dying, and they may never get to treatment.
So with safe use and safe supply, the Vancouver, BC approach absolutely does differ from San Francisco's. It's a more aggressive use of harm reduction tools 8 years into an emergency these cities share, nearly a decade into the fight to save the next life.
I want to wake up and live and not just exist. I'd like to find some kind of peace.
The human toll in suffering and lives, something both cities know all too well. Now, the next question, of course, how is this working in Vancouver? How are they measuring the success of these programs? And then another question, the people of Vancouver in British Columbia, do they feel like these strategies are working?
I mean, we all want the same thing, that's to stop this absolute nightmare of a public health emergency that we have. It's just how we get there. Sometimes we're in conflict.
Some familiar conflicts in this shared emergency. We'll have more on the BC strategy, how some say it is dramatically reducing overdose deaths, and why there has also been a significant public and political pushback against some of these policies, including an experiment with outright decriminalization. That's coming up in the next chapter of our look at Vancouver and what San Francisco can possibly learn from their experience, 2 sister cities in this opioid crisis.
Wilson Walker reporting, and Wilson will bring us all of that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in part 2 of our series, Overdose Crisis, Lessons from Vancouver. And if you or anyone you know is struggling with addiction, you can call 1-800-622-HELP. That is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration's national helpline. An Alameda County firefighter now on paid leave after he was caught on camera berating a driver with racist comments. So it happened after a crash on Friday on Highway 99 in Lodi.
The cops are coming. It's okay.
Oh, the cops are definitely coming.
Oh, yeah, they're coming.
Mexican?
Oh, no.
Philippine.
So in that video that has since gone viral, the two argue over who is at fault. And the off-duty firefighter says, "You're probably going to work some lawn job." The driver who took this video says he pushed record as he saw the man come up to his window.
A person come up like that, you don't know. You never know what's going to happen. But you got to restrain yourself from saying anything at all if you're a public servant.
The firefighter, who is a 20-year veteran, spoke with our sister station off camera. He apologized, saying he had a bad day and that the video doesn't reflect who he is.
I don't consider it a hate crime. I consider it embarrassing behavior and something that's not.
So the Alameda County Fire Chief said in a press conference this morning the firefighters' actions do not reflect the department's values and that every firefighter will now undergo sensitivity training. In San Jose, we have new information tonight about a deadly wrong-way crash that still has part of Highway 85 shut down at this hour. You can see that wrecked white pickup truck at the scene. CHP tells us the driver of that truck drove onto northbound 85 around 4 this afternoon, went in the wrong direction for several miles before then slamming head-on into a Tesla. Both the driver of the Tesla and a passenger died. The truck driver was rushed to the hospital with major injuries. Northbound 85 is expected to be closed for at least another hour. Investigators still trying to piece together what happened and why the driver went the wrong way.